to the Fallout New Vegas perfect playthrough, and we're actually going to start this episode by just doing a little cleanup on things I've forgotten. Like, I left the weathers behind. Well, almost left them behind. So,
have you come to sell or trade for captures?
So we'll talk to Canyon Runner now. By captures, do you mean slaves?
No. They haven't yet earned the right to be called slaves. Those three in the pen are captures, nothing more. I'm a slave master, so I know what I'm talking about. Back at the fort, I'd have those three half-broken and well on their way. But this is just a holding area, so all I do is assess their fitness and decide whether to send them on.
Doesn't bother you, enslaving people?
Why would it bother me to enslave these wretches? They have no purpose, no creed, no honor. They live in pitiful squalor, undisciplined, intemperate. To enslave them is to save them, to give them purpose and virtue. Honestas industria prudentia. Even the virtues of slaves are beyond the desolate on this side of the river.
How did the Legion set up a camp on this side of the river?
It was easy. The Colorado was narrow here, and when the profligates abandoned Searchlight, there was no one to guard the crossing. It's just a small outpost, but we keep busy. Raiding parties go out, new captures come in.
How did you join Caesar's Legion?
I have Blackfoot in me, the first tribe that Caesar ever led in battle, the tribe that formed the Legion. If not for him, we'd still be living in tents or shacks, scavenging for food like animals, if we were alive at all.
Who is Cursor Lucullus?
The best cursor in the Legion. You'll reach Fortification Hill without incident, that's for sure. Wait until you see the encampment, how massive it is, and a personal audience with mighty Caesar. Glorious.
And how much would it cost to buy the three captures?
It's a weak bunch, to be honest. I'd rather have extra currency to buy supplies or better captures off traders. There's a boy, too old to be trained as a legionary. Normally they would have to die, but he's too frail to make trouble. The old woman's dried up, but she could keep house or do gardening if she can learn to keep her mouth shut. The girl's the only one of real value, young enough to breed, not hideous to look at. What's your offer for the lot?
But any fool can see the girl has all the symptoms of pustular hypomyalgia.
Pustula? What? Is that contagious? That doesn't sound good at all.
I'll give you 150 for the lot.
Seems I'm fortunate to get that much for them, given the circumstances. Here, this is the key to their collars. You want to take those off before you go far. Trust me.
Alright, see you, Canyon Runner.
Wale.
Are you gonna free us or...
I guess you just talked to her.
When will we be free?
Oh, I guess I have to go inside. Oh, that's what it is. I have to go inside.
When will we be free?
I've paid for the three of you. You are free to go.
Thank you. I don't think we'll ever be able to repay you, but we'll do our best one day, once I found a place to settle.
So there we go. We'll return Frank. But first we're going to stop at Novak along the way. As you'll notice off screen, I made some chems. We always need more and more inventory management as we get more stuff. But I also picked up EDE because he's back. I'm so excited for him to be back. And he's going to be back the rest of the playthrough. Boone is not here. But yeah, Boone's back too. There's Boone. Yeah, we're pretty much all set for yeah, it's time. We're pretty much all set for companion quests and history points. So now we can go with the dream team. But yeah, now let's follow up with what Frank had to say. Because we learned he was beating his wife and children.
Morning.
And he ran away from the Legion.
Have you found my family yet?
About your family.
Yes. Have you found them?
Yes, they're all alive.
They are? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. But wait, where are they?
Your family doesn't want you around. You need to clean up, Frank.
You're right. I've been a mean son of a bitch the past couple years. It won't be easy, but I'll try going sober. Maybe then my family will want me back. Thank you for doing what you can. I won't let this go to waste.
And yeah, you can actually be so mean to him that he kills himself, and his head just explodes. But we're not going to do that. We're going to be nice and tell him to get on the straight and narrow, because this is the perfect playthrough. And the other thing, which I just noticed I had forgotten, is I actually have to turn in high times to Julie Farkas. I thought it had been turned in this whole time, but it had not been. I'd also noticed that I'm only liked in Freeside, so perhaps this will push me up to idolized, where I deserve to be.
Smoke rising from the east spells trouble. I hope the Legion isn't on the move.
I helped with the addiction problem you mentioned quite a while ago.
I saw them. Thank you so much for helping them. This means a lot to the followers of the Apocalypse. You have our thanks. If you need some medical supplies, come see me. With Jacob working with us, we should be able to spare a stim or fixer once a day. Sure.
And,
would you like a stim pack, fixer, or Rataway?
Rataway.
You'll need to wait
And the Garrett should be sending over supplies shortly, which I also thought I turned in.
I'm honestly pleasantly surprised they would help us out. But I can see the Garretts aren't doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. Well, it looks like you've earned yourself a discount on supplies now that we'll be fully covered. This supply deal will aid our work immensely.
Alright, see you later. And we're still not idolized in Freeside, huh? But yeah, thought I turned those guys in, but I guess not. As you can see, we're idolized by everyone except Freeside. And the Powder Gangers, of course. Oh, and we will eventually be idolized by the Great Khans. But now that we've wrapped up that little almost forgotten bit of questing, we can head back to Mr. House and get some fun info on all the factions. Did a lot of traveling to manage my inventory and get all my containers back. A bit parched. First thing we gotta do.
Ooh, suddenly I feel all tingly, and I find I've got a rocket launcher.
And you look different somehow. Did you cut your hair?
How sweet of you to notice, Sugar. I've been upgraded to the Mark II software, and it's peachy having these high explosive weapons fully accessible.
And I got another slow globe as well.
You do?
And thank you for talking, Jane.
Enjoy your time in Vegas.
And does he have two favorite girls around? It's a sweet Nuka-Cola themed Protectron. But I don't think so. I think he just has Jane. But yes, anyway, here is Mr. House, and we will talk to him.
The foundation is laid. My Securitrons on the strip are upgraded, and those at the fort ready for action. Now it's just a matter of adjusting the attitudes of some lesser groups while we wait for Caesar's Legion to attack Hoover Dam.
What's the next step?
Outside New Vegas, at what was once called Nellis Air Force Base, resides an unusual tribe known as the Boomers. They are, shall we say, aggressively reclusive. They have several howitzers they fire at anyone who dares approach the base. Artillery of this sort has a range of several miles. If it's going to fire on Hoover Dam, I want it firing at my targets. If not, then I want to make sure that the Boomers don't sign similar treaties to fire their guns in support of the NCR or Caesar's Legion.
And I'll make sure they support the right side.
Use extreme caution when approaching the base. Their firepower is considerable. Recently, one of my roaming Securitrons observed a man near the base studying the pattern of its artillery fire. Maybe he's learned something. Any progress with the boomers?
I'm still working on it. I want to ask some questions.
What did you want to discuss?
I'm surprised you haven't asked of what became of Benny.
That's because he ceased to be relevant when you recovered the platinum chip. Revenge doesn't interest me. Progress does. Sorry to deny you a moment of primate triumph, but you'll have to go elsewhere to sound your barbaric yawp. What else did you want to discuss?
Tell me about the boomers.
They occupied Nellis Air Force Base a little over 50 years ago. One of my Securitrons got some video of their arrival and then exploded. Odds are they were vault dwellers. That's everything I know about them, really.
And how will the NCR defend Hoover Dam?
General Oliver's strategy, or tunnel vision, as I like to call it, has been to mass troops at Hoover Dam. He wants to outfight the Legion in a straightforward slugging match, and then, when they rout, pursue and destroy them in detail. A crushing, decisive victory of this sort would overshadow the tactical ingenuity of Chief Hanlon's defense 4 years ago, you see.
What's your battle plan for the dam?
A good deal should be obvious to you by now. I won't spoil the rest by talking out of turn.
And, were you aware that the White Glove Society used to be cannibals?
Yes, of course. But refraining from those dietary practices is a primary requirement of their contract. They've been good to their word. Put together one hell of a resort hotel, too. From what I hear, I'd want to eat at the Gourmand every night, if I were ambulatory. What else did you want to discuss?
Huh. Oh, I should let you know I planted a surveillance device on one of your data terminals.
Yes, I know. It was detected immediately and deactivated, let's see, 39.735 seconds after you planted it. You thought I wouldn't notice. Any progress with the...
I'm asking questions. A woman named Emily asked me to bug the terminal.
One of the followers of the apocalypse, I'm sure. They're curious about me. Good luck planting a surveillance device here in the Lucky 38 without my knowing about it. What else did you want to discuss?
What are your plans for New Vegas?
I've resurrected Vegas, spirit intact. What I need now is the ability to enforce my rightful claim. Not just against Caesar's Legion, by the way. In fact, the NCR is a more present and insidious threat.
How do you intend to enforce your claim on the city?
To enforce, one must have force, a position of strength. Years ago, when I detected NCR scouts roaming the Mojave, I could tell from their uniforms that these were no mere tribesmen. I knew it was only a matter of time before an army appeared to take control of the dam, and I knew my Securitrons wouldn't be enough to oppose them. And so I recruited the 3 families. Vegas belongs to me because I mustered enough strength to bring the NCR to the bargaining table.
I love that line. I mustered enough strength to bring the NCR to the bargaining table. But wasn't the NCR's army big enough to defeat your Securitrons and the 3 families?
Indeed it was, and still is, but not without taking significant casualties. Would Kimball and Oliver have traded the lives of hundreds of soldiers for absolute control of Hoover Dam? Oh, yes. They weren't afraid of me. They were afraid of Caesar, that attacking me would leave them vulnerable to a Legion offensive. And so they negotiated, not out of the kindness of their hearts, as they tried to make it seem, because the calculus of power left no other choice.
I love that line too. The calculus of power left no other choice. Mr. House is just a non-stop great line machine. What were the terms of your treaty with the NCR?
NCR forces were permitted to occupy Hoover Dam and establish a military base at McCarran Airport. Well, it used to be one. They recognized my sovereignty over the Vegas Strip and agreed to supply electricity and water once their engineers repaired the dam. Written into the treaty were provisions that the NCR do nothing to prevent its soldiers and civilians from visiting the Strip. That's how I harness the NCR to my endeavor. Their occupation has been the engine of my growing economy.
You would go to war against the NCR?
The salient issue is that they will go to war with me if given the chance. There's just one reason why the NCR hasn't contrived some outrage to justify invading the Strip. Caesar's Legion. The final battle between those two armies is fast approaching. I can't afford to let either side win on their terms. What else did you want to discuss?
Say you keep control of New Vegas. What happens next?
New Vegas is more than a city. It's the remedy to mankind's derailment. The city's economy is a blast furnace in which can be forged the steel of a new rail line running straight to a new horizon. What is the NCR? A society of people desperate to experience comfort, ease, luxury. A society of customers. With all that money pouring in, give me 20 years and I'll reignite the high technology development sectors. 50 years and I'll have people in orbit. 100 years and my colony ships will be heading for the stars to search for planets unpolluted by the wrath and folly of a bygone generation.
In the meantime, you'd rule Vegas as some kind of dictator?
I prefer the term autocrat. I would rule as a chief executive. I would not answer to a board of directors or any other entity. Nothing to impede progress. If you want to see the fate of democracies, look out the windows.
What's to keep you from abusing your power?
My judgment. I have no interest in abusing others, just as I have no interest in legislating or otherwise dictating what people do in their private time. Nor have I any interest in being worshipped as some kind of machine god messiah. I am impervious to such corrupting ambitions. But autocracy? Firm control in the hands of a technological and economic visionary? Yes, that Vegas shall have. What else did you want to discuss?
What's the deal with the snow globe collection?
What of it? I enjoy them. There's something about a little diorama set inside a glass dome that I find pleasing. If you run across any out in the wastes, turn them in to Jane. She'll compensate you. What else did you want to discuss?
See, Mr. House owns what he likes. Where does New Vegas get all its electricity? This is a stupid question.
Hoover Dam, of course. A hydroelectric dam. The NCR had it up and running at 50% capacity within a year of occupying the dam. By treaty, New Vegas receives 5% of its output. More than enough. What else did you want to discuss?
What was Vegas like before the war?
It was a place of splendor. As magnificent as today's Strip may seem, it's but a shadow of the neon paradise that was Las Vegas. I grew up not far from here, and though I traveled the old world extensively, I never found another place like it.
You say that you saved Las Vegas. How?
By 2065, I deemed it a mathematical certainty that an atomic war would devastate the Earth within 15 years. Every projection I ran confirmed it. I knew I couldn't save the world, nor did I care to, but I could save Vegas, and in the process, perhaps save mankind. I set to work immediately. I thought I had plenty of time to prepare. As it turned out, I was 20 hours short.
What preparations did you make to save Las Vegas?
On the day of the Great War, 77 atomic warheads targeted Las Vegas and its surrounding areas. My networked mainframes were able to predict and force transmit disarm code subsets to 59 warheads, neutralizing them before impact. Laser cannons mounted on the roof of the Lucky 38 destroyed another 9 warheads. The rest got through, though none hit the city itself. A suboptimal performance, admittedly. If only the platinum chip had arrived a day sooner.
Why didn't the platinum chip arrive on time?
The platinum chip was printed in Sunnyvale, California on October 22nd, 2077, the day before the Great War. It was to have been delivered by courier the following afternoon, but by then, the world had ended. The chip contained vital software upgrades, but not just for my Securitrons. Every aspect of the missile defense grid would have been upgraded too. Given that I had to make do with buggy software, the outcome could have been worse. I nearly died as it was.
How did you nearly die defending Vegas?
Software glitches set off a cascade of system crashes. I had to take the Lucky 38's reactor offline, lest it melt down. For nearly 5 years, I battled power outages and more system crashes until I finally managed to reboot my data core with an older version of the OS. I spent the next few decades in a veritable coma, but I survived, obviously, and eventually thrived. Goodbye.
Alright, I'll see you later, Mr. House. And there's Mr. House's discussion. And similar to Caesar's, everyone likes it, including me. Another high point of Vegas. Another hearing out of the potential faction you choose. And now, since we're going to head over to the Boomers, theoretically, let's see what the NCR has to say. First, we're going to look at the monorail station, which we could obviously enter from Camp McCarran if we so desire, but we got it to Vegas our own way. But we can still see and talk to everybody. And get the final Mojave Express Dropbox. How wonderful. Here are NCR troopers, and I think there's a strip letter 8 here. There's a bunch of strip letters, but getting those that's more of a reading type thing for you to do on your own time.
I bet it feels real nice to be carrying those weapons around on the strip. That damn Mr. House has forbidden any NCR military personnel from carrying any sort of firearms on the strip. Well, except for Captain Pappas. Mr. House still doesn't trust the NCR. A word of advice. The Securitrons won't put up with any funny stuff out there, so don't do anything stupid. This your first time on the strip?
I've been here before, actually.
Okay then, you should know the rules. Just stay out of trouble and have fun.
He greets you as you leave. Here it is, the monorail. The other end of the station.
Hey.
And interesting, these Securitrons did get upgraded, probably an oversight. That's all it is here, besides that and some notes. And head out to the strip. Interestingly enough, we're idolized by Caesar's Legion, so the NCR might not really like us going over there, but at the same time we're idolized by the NCR, so it's not that bad. So someone might try to start something. I've also noticed in my watchovers that I say interesting and interestingly enough all the time. But I'm not going to stop. It's an interesting game. I can't help it. So yes, here is the NCR's embassy.
Hello.
All the military police. They're not armed. They all have cattle prods. See you later. Yeah, see, he's gonna come up to start shit with me, but he doesn't realize that I'm also idolized. So it fucks up a little. But yeah, first let's investigate here. And it's just a little holding cell. Because the NCR also have to do some stuff to keep the police, the peace. And you guys can hack those terminals and read the little logs again on your own time. This isn't. We read the survivalist stuff, but that's about it. And then here you go. Here's their sort of armory, which of course has cattle prods. Then the 10mm pistol. The only person allowed to carry, as he said earlier, was Captain Pappas.
Help you?
And she can only carry, small arms. But yeah, that's the military police HQ, and then all the people we have to talk to will be in here, the embassy. So first, let's talk to Liza O'Malley.
Welcome to the NCR embassy. How can I help you?
What can you tell me about the embassy?
The embassy offices are to your left, while the barracks and living quarters are to the right. If you're looking for a history lesson, I suggest you talk to Ambassador Crocker.
And tell me about yourself.
I don't have time to give my life story to everyone that passes through. Is there something I can actually help you with?
I'm looking for the ambassador, I guess.
Ambassador Crocker can be found in his office through the door to my right and at the end of the hall.
Thank you very much.
Sir?
Well, a little sad, but we're gonna go over to the barracks first. And there's like a few characters here, but nothing major. More strip letters. Ah, here we go. Captain Pappas, as you can see, holding a 9mm. And let's talk.
I heard you killed Benny over at the Tops. I bet you think you're some sort of tough cookie. A piece of advice. If you mess with any of my men, you'll regret it.
That's awfully aggressive towards someone who killed Benny. I wonder if this is about Clandon. This was actually cut from the quest, but I guess it wasn't cut entirely. But let's do the other dialogue first before we investigate that. What's happening on the strip?
Yeah, more of the usual. We're keeping an eye on the troopers to make sure they don't do anything stupid. And the only stupid one we've had lately is Private Irwin. He's starting to cause more trouble than he's worth.
I'd like to know more about you.
Not much to tell. Keeping the troopers in line and monitoring the strip keeps me busy. It's my job, and I'm gonna do it well. Now, if that's all, I've got work to do.
That's not all. What can you tell me about the ambassador?
Crocker isn't too bad. He mostly stays in his office now. If you have any questions about the embassy, you should ask him. He'll talk your ear off.
And I'd like to report a murder at Gamora.
Murder? What kind of murder? Do you have any proof?
I found a dead girl in Gamora.
Well, that's something. But I can't go in there without proof of foul play.
And I found these tapes.
These are terrifying. Do you have any idea who the man is speaking on this tape?
I can't say for sure. It's definitely Clandon.
Well, come back.
Yeah, you see, this was cut from the quest, so there's no resolutions for it. Don't worry, we actually killed Clandon twice. Somehow. I guess this is Captain Pappas' room. And where is the legendary Irwin? Ah, here he is. Oh, thank you for the beret compliment. I assume he was talking to Boone, but I'll take it anyway.
Heard you snuffed that Benny guy. Good riddance, guy's a scumbag.
And of course, he's a caravan player. What's happening on the strip?
Us troopers mostly come to the strip for our R&R. We blow off some steam by gambling, drinking, partying, or fighting. If you're looking for a good time, I'd suggest hitting up Gamora. The girls there are pretty nice, if you know what I mean.
Tell me about yourself.
What have you heard? I know people think I'm a little on the wild side, but I'm just trying to have fun, you know? Just because I happen to get into fights and like to pull pranks doesn't mean anything.
What do you know about the ambassador?
He's a little stiff and stuffy. Doesn't leave the office that much. Always surrounds himself with papers and reports. I've always wanted to play a prank on him, but there's no way I could ever pull that off without getting in trouble from Captain Pappas.
A prank, you say?
Yeah, I got a few ideas that I'm working on. Maybe I'll let you in on it once I have something.
Alas, we never get to play a prank with him. What can you tell me about Captain Pappas?
She may be a bit of a hard ass, but she's the best damn captain we've had here. I'd be careful around her. You don't want to get on her bad side.
You're already on her bad side. Let's play some caravan.
Bring it on, buddy.
Oh, we're buddies. And we really need to update our deck, but our deck is actually so good that it's not a big deal. That hurts. Yeah, I mean, this is a relaxed caravan. I was really trying to make last episode super efficient, but this time around, we're living the good life with regards to efficiency. And let's see what else we can do. That should be it. And yet another caravan win. 18-0. What a streak. And we have one more caravan player to play. And then the next time we play caravan will be in the challenge completing extravaganza episode at the very end of the playthrough.
I'm glad you could make it. I have something I wanted to discuss with you. It's a very important matter, and I have a strong feeling you're the perfect person for the job.
I'm listening.
I'm sure you've noticed that things are a little tense around here with all the issues between the NCR, the Legion, and Mr. House. It doesn't take a genius to see that something big is going to happen soon. To be honest with you, the NCR is in a tight spot. But if we fail now, it's the people here that are going to suffer the most. I'm not willing to let that happen, and I don't think you're the kind of person that would either.
You have my attention. Go on.
To the northeast is the settlement. The locals here call them boomers. They are sitting on a munitions stockpile that would be invaluable to us. I would like you to get in contact with them, and then do whatever it takes to convince them to help us. Unfortunately, the boomers keep to themselves and are, let's say, hostile to all outsiders. That's why I need someone like you. Someone with your background and reputation would have a better chance of reaching them than anyone I have available. In exchange for your help, you would receive complete amnesty for any past crimes against the NCR, as well as additional benefits and perks. Do you think you would be able to do this for me?
I'll find him and talk to him.
Much appreciated. Once you've talked to them, come back and let me know if they will help us.
And can you tell me about the boomers?
Thanks for doing this. Remember, we need their resources to help us in the upcoming battle. Do whatever it takes.
And why don't you tell me about yourself, Ambassador?
Interested in politics, huh? Well, grab a seat and get comfortable. I've been in politics quite a while now. Always had the drive to do it even when I was young. Just something I was drawn to. I started my career over 20 years ago back in the NCR as the local mayor and worked my way up from there. I managed President Kimball's first run for a seat on the council. I suppose that's why I have this ambassadorship.
Go on.
I was elected to this post 7 years ago. I'm the third NCR representative to serve here in Vegas. Now, I've had my share of ups and downs along the way, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. That's it. Anything else you wish to know?
I like Crocker. I think he almost embodies like the best of the NCR in a weird way. For a guy who gets made fun of a lot. I'd like to know more about the NCR.
I can provide a quick history lesson, if that's what you're looking for. In 2274, President Kimball sent the NCR Army into the Mojavean Forest with the objective of occupying and repairing the dam. Rangers and Army scouts had confirmed that the dam was basically unoccupied and could be restored to an operable condition. Upon arriving at the dam, however, they discovered that a large force of tribals and robots had occupied it. This was our introduction to the three families, the Securitrons and, of course, Mr. House. Using his Securitrons as intermediaries, Mr. House called for parley. He claimed his forces had occupied Hoover Dam in order to safeguard it for our arrival, and that he was ready to turn it over to us, so long as we could agree to terms. Those terms became the Treaty of New Vegas. The treaty recognized Mr. House's sovereignty over the Strip and granted us rights to establish military bases at the dam and McCarran Airport. The NCR is legally permitted to send 95% of the electricity produced by the dam to our home states. The remaining 5% goes to the Strip. The treaty actually makes it illegal for the NCR to prevent its citizens or troops on furlough from visiting the Strip. Once on the Strip, our citizens are subject to arrest or punishment by House of Securitrons, though that's a rare occurrence. Our troops enjoy a different status. It's illegal for the Securitrons to take action against them. Of course, it's also illegal for our troops to carry firearms on the Strip, so there isn't much trouble they can get into. Our military police does an adequate job of keeping the troops on furlough in mind. I don't envy them that task. The embassy was established a few weeks after the treaty was signed. Basically, Mr. House handed us a dumpy little building he had no interest in renovating. I'm the third ambassador to hold this post, and the first, I think, to accept its limitations. My predecessors had ambitions of engineering the annexation of Mojave. They thought they'd convince Mr. House to join up. I've never even spoken to the man, or whatever he is. Maybe the situation will change once we've beaten the Legion once and for all.
Go on.
Now we mostly just keep track of the NCR citizens and troopers around and make sure they don't get in trouble, but that's Captain Papa's job. I keep myself busy with paperwork and reports that get sent back to the NCR. It's mostly busy work, but every once in a while we make progress.
We'll make some progress, don't you worry. What's happening around the Strip?
It's the same old stuff around here. Gambling, debauchery, drunkenness. It's all here. I'm getting a little old for it, however. If you want more information, try talking to some of the other guys around here. I don't get out of the office much anymore.
And what we've all been waiting for, the final caravan game against the new opponent.
I always have time for a good game of caravan. I hope you're up to the challenge.
This is a high-stakes game. You know what? Let's, we got plenty of time. I'm gonna end this episode right before the boomers. So, let's go through our caravan deck. Get some clubs in there. Let's see. I think we should have enough to go all clubs now, hopefully. Seems like I've already found out that we don't, so I will put a diamond 4 back in there. Let's fix it. 6s are all clubs. 7s are not yet all clubs. 8s though. 8s are getting there. Let's see, 10s. Oh yeah, we are getting there. We're certainly getting there. The dream is to have all one suit. When you have all one suit, it doesn't matter which way your caravan goes. Or really, it doesn't matter any of the orders at all. So, that's the way to go. Here we are, building up our caravans. Living the good life, caravan-wise. Getting sixes. Winning games.
It's good to see such an outstanding citizen of the NCR. What can I do for you, my friend?
Hey, you're supposed to be a hero of the NCR.
Goodbye.
See you later, Crocker. And yeah, there we go. That's the NCR area of the strip. Lucky no one really has with me. Except that one guy. Yeah, boomers off in the corner. So yeah, let's travel up there. Yeah, we'll just casually walk over there. No fear of Legion assassins. And I also, if the longtime viewers will remember that I died around here. Longtime viewers will remember that I explored here and then died. And said I would come back off screen, but since we're at such a relaxed ending of this episode, I will re-explore this area, which I did never ever come back to, of course forgot. And loot it all. And then before we head all the way over there, we're gonna investigate these red ticks. And it turns out it's just Brahmin, so that's not a big deal. So I think they're gonna... But we'll end it on a good one, a good unique. If you have the Wild Wasteland perk, Rex will come up to you and you'll be like, "What? Timmy stuck down the well," and it'll point you in the direction of a well that will be present out here, and you can get the unique BB gun here. But if you don't have the Wild Wasteland perk, then the unique BB gun is just in fields. And star bottle cap as well. And where is it? Right here. Abilene Kid limited edition BB gun. So that's fun. You can make a very interesting build of it, as it has very high crit damage. And here it is. Danger. Keep out. And the man at the house told us about, stationed over there. But I think that the boomers will be a thing to explore next go around in the Perfect playthrough. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'm looking forward to the next.